What is your relationship? How do you describe your relationship with Robin? Do I have time?
No, I'm not going to talk about her.
You don't want to talk about her?
No. Something I discovered when we were in Vegas was that Christine wasn't ever happy unless she was getting more than everybody else.
But when she looks at you and Robin with envy, with jealousy.
Does that make me or Robin bad? I'm saying if Christine was envious, does that make Robin and I bad?
Hey everyone, it's Kody from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, March 13th, 2023. We have all been invested in the Sister Wives since 2010. They began filming in 2009 and we were introduced in 2010. It has been a wild ride for fans and for people that watch with a rubber neck as they cannot stop looking at the train wreck. Some people watch the show because they actually think that what Kody and the wives portray on TV is real, and they believe the lies that come out of their mouth about the group that they came from, the Apostolic United Brethren, and that, you know, everything is equal, the wives chose this, everyone's happy, their group is not like other groups, all that garbage. Other people watch the show because they are of the opinion that polygamy is horrible, and they cannot stop watching now because the family is falling apart and the public is finally seeing in real time that the experiment of the Browns that they had to portray polygamy in a functional manner and show the world that polygamists are just like every other family, that they don't do anything differently. They have the same problems as we do, except it's just multiplied. Love should be multiplied, not divided, okay? Well, what does the network do now that Kody Brown has lost his wives? Kody Brown no longer can have a storyline of a show following Kody Brown and his 4 wives. When you go to the production company's websites for both, there's 2 separate production companies that are a part of the show. Both shows are about polygamists. The goal of the show is to follow Kody and his 4 wives and their lives. Kody only has 1 wife now. So the show, the premise, the pitch that they sold to TLC is in a precarious position because last year's ratings, or the season that just ended, were the highest rated parts, like the highest rated the show had seen in years. The show helped TLC hit like the top cable shows on network television. The Sister Wives episodes received millions of views. Everybody was talking about it. But that peak was because a wife opened up her eyes and realized that she didn't want to be a polygamist anymore and she wanted to leave Kody. Now, Christine has left. She's no longer living in Flagstaff, and any filming that she does is in Utah. Christine now has a boyfriend. They're not polygamists. Christine does not believe in the Joseph Smith faith, whether it's fundamentalist Mormons or it's mainstream LDS church. She doesn't believe anymore. Mary is sort of out on an island by herself because she doesn't have great relationships with anyone in the family, and her child Leon wants nothing to do with the show. And then you have Janelle, who is in Flagstaff but has left and separated from Kody, and then all you have left is Robin. Gone will be the days of watching family get-togethers, family reunions, events between the families. Gone will be the days of Kody and the wives getting together to have conversations about holidays or plans for building or where they're going to move next or weddings or babies, because the families have all segregated and separated. The show is disconnected and discombobulated. So you're not talking about Kody and his wives anymore. You're talking about Kody and his 1 wife and 3 ex-wives. So the show as we've known it is over. What does that mean for Kody and his show? Well, we know that at least season 18 is going to air, and that is going to show in September. Beyond that, we don't know what's going to happen. But I will tell you that a source I spoke to who has contacts in Missouri said that TLC Productions are allegedly like sniffing around this ranch of former AUB members and some that are still affiliated with the Apostolic United Brethren that live in a polygamous community between Stockton and Humansville, Missouri. And they have been approaching, allegedly, some polygamous families about the option of coming on for a new show. So it's kind of messy because the way I was told is that the people that were approached were of the belief that TLC wants to replace the Browns with a new polygamous family and put it under an umbrella of a show like Sister Wives. So you continue on with the sort of umbrella of Sister Wives, but you add in a new family, or you take a family from Seeking Sister Wives and you spin them off to become the new Sister Wives sort of show of a family of polygamists, sort of like what they did with My Five Wives, which only lasted 2 seasons, and it was kind of a spin-off of Sister Wives because the family is from the AUB as well, Brady Williams and his 5 wives. Difference here is that they're looking in a part of Missouri that's not directly connected to Kody and his wives, and this group is highly problematic. So if you are Kody Brown, you are panicking because not only are your wives leaving, your income is dwindling, you no longer have access to 3 wives' incomes anymore, you have a lot of debt, everything is in your name, literally, all the loans are in your name, Mary's not on any loans, Robin, Kody, and Janelle's on like 1 land loan, and then everything else is in Kody and Robin's name. Kody and Robin purchased this house on the belief that they would be able to maintain a certain level of income to make sure that they can make payments on their mortgages. So here we are, it is 2023, and I'm told that the Browns could be getting phased out, which won't be shocking to you, but who they might have approached might make your mouth drop. So before we dive into today's topic, please do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed by clicking on the bell or the subscribe button down below. Make sure to leave a comment if you have something to say. Click on the bell if you want to get notified of any time I upload new content, and share this video with your friends. So TLC has become a network of exploiting abnormal lives. It used to be called the Learning Channel. Today the network centers around families that have a lot of kids, or people that are morbidly obese going through weight loss surgery, skin surgery, people that have unusual growths on their faces and their feet, people that they've got a couple shows for little people or individuals that have forms of dwarfism. They've got a person with a growth hormone disorder, Shauna Ray. They have a smothered of mothers that are way too close. They've got a show called like MILFs, and that I heard is a total hot mess. They've got their 90-day fiance franchise, and they are becoming, instead of like about learning, just about exploiting weird ways of life. Now, when you start looking at the really highly religious areas like the polygamy and what we saw with the Duggars, you're walking into patriarchal, very far right-wing extremists. And instead of TLC taking an L and realizing that the show was not a success in that it did not prove that polygamy was a failure, did not prove that polygamy was like normal nor successful, Christine says it's a success because they came what they needed to do and they decriminalized polygamy, okay? But it really wasn't a success because the family fell apart. And they never made America believe that this was like a normal family and that they had the same problems as us. Now that Kody's got no wives, TLC wants to ride the train and somehow maybe try to prove that polygamy is still viable. They have the show Seeking Sister Wives, which is a hot mess. And that show has a revolving cast of people. They've had other members of the AUB there. They've had non-religious polygamists. They've had Christian polygamists. They've had a wide variety over there. But I've told that someone was approached for a show by TLC or production of them, allegedly, and they're looking again to try to find a new Mormon fundamentalist family. Now, this is where it gets really messy. So I was reached out to by someone who is from Missouri, and they were members of a ranch in Missouri. It's called The Ranch, and it was founded and purchased by the Apostolic United Brethren. And over time, the AUB and the individuals that went to Missouri have sort of fractured their relationship. And while the members there are not excommunicated from the church, at least that I know of, they are loyal to the AUB, but they're not considered like an official church of the AUB. The founder of this is a man with the last name of Laub, L-A-U-B, and over time, this sect of polygamists have come to believe that Missouri is actually the holy land of Joseph Smith, and this is going to be where the promised land is. Not Utah, but Missouri. All Reds had a problem with that because they don't believe that Missouri is the promised land. Okay? So anyways, this group has become a place for misfits, and it's also become a place where other groups that have been sort of kicked out or have been excommunicated, people that have sort of in a way lost their communities, like there's people that have migrated over to this from the FLDS. Individuals from the Mexican colony from the LeBaron family have moved up to the ranch because there was a murder by the cartel, I guess multiple actually. There was like a family in a car, and then there was one where they went up to a house, and there's been a lot of violence down there, and so some people were exiled and left and went to Missouri. So you have the LeBarons up there, you have the FLDS, and then you also have exiled Kingston family members that have gone over there. And so you have all these groups that are in the same area, and some of them are more problematic than others, but they all practice polygamy, and they have very troubled pasts, okay? Some of the people that are transferring from, say, like the FLDS are converting to the AUB. Some of the Kingstons are trying to convert into the AUB, but for the most part, I'm told the groups sort of all stay separate. Anyways, this community has been getting, they've been posted about in the news from in Utah and in Missouri. This group interacts with the LDS Church, even though this group is highly problematic and has a lot of issues and SOs on the property. Now, this is where it gets even messier. So you have all these conflicting groups that coexist at the ranch, okay? According to the person that I spoke to, who has direct knowledge because they have a relative that's legitimately related to one of the wives here, said that a man and two of his wives were allegedly approached about the potential of becoming a new show for the TLC network to replace the Browns, whether it was to start them on Sister Wives or Seeking Sister Wives and spin them off, or just have them a brand new show and sort of like roll it out without a spinoff. The man, who is 35, has two wives that he's obtained within the last 2 years. The youngest was 18, and I believe the other one was like in her early 20s. And the man and the wives were allegedly told that if everything went well, they could eventually become sort of like the new Browns. They were approached because they are affiliated with the Apostolic United Brethren, and the man turned them down after they had had conversations with them, according to the source I spoke to, because the man in question is a convicted SO. He was charged with essaying a child in Utah and in Missouri, and he didn't want to get the charges to go out to the public. So the way that they explained it is they approached a family of a man that's an SO with the potential of a show, and the guy declined and said, no, thank you. There's just some stuff in my past I don't want people to know about. I don't know if they dug deep. I don't know if these were high-level conversations, but he's literally on the Missouri registry. And I verified his convictions. I verified his charges. So after he declined, the source said they are starting to look at some other families, a man that has 3 wives, and one of the founders of the ranch. The issue with this group, though, is that this group also, on top of all of the weirdness with the disgustingness of like approaching a man that has a charge, allegedly, this group practices marriages of first cousins. So according to the source, there's Kingstons at this ranch that literally marry, the dads marry their daughters, uncles marry their nieces. It's gross. And the group that spawned off from the AUB has now started marrying first cousins. And they attended a wedding this summer, completely shocked to find the grandfather, who is one of the like elders of this community, officiating the wedding for his grandson and his granddaughter. It was his son's daughter and his daughter's son. So he has a son and a daughter, and their kids were getting married. Sister Wives has been really lucky to try to explain away all of the family connections, like the fact that Christine is first cousins with Robin's ex-husband, or the fact that Janelle and her mom are married to, her mom was married to Wynn, Kody's dad, Janelle married Kody, the fact that Janelle was married to Mary's brother. There's the fact that Maddie married her aunt's brother, though not related, still growing up with him, a in-law. There's been a lot of strange connections that they've really been able to explain away. But if they went into a community like this in Missouri, they'd be going into a community where there's literally families marrying families. They'd be going into a community where there's a high level and number of registered SOs. And they've already been allegedly approaching at least one family who happens to be a convicted SO. My question in all of this is, what is TLC's endgame here? Do they want to keep riding the train, believing that the public has interest in watching another polygamous family try to lie to America? Are they that interested in trying to normalize polygamy? Do they have a relationship with people in polygamy that have a desired interest and a need to make polygamy look not criminal, totally normal, and that the women are completely consenting? Because Missouri, it's illegal. It's a felony in Arizona. It's decriminalized only in Utah. It remains like a felony in every other state. One state has decriminalized polygamy. One state. So Kody is probably shaking in his boots, not only stressing out about the fact that Robin, or that Janelle and Christine and Mary are gone, but also that the end of his show is coming. And unless he takes more wives, there's no show. And TLC will allegedly find a family to replace them. And all I'm saying is, and all I'm putting out there is, if you're casting people from Missouri, Figure 8 Films or Muddy Puddles or Putty Muddles or whatever the production company is, or TLC, the last place you should be looking at is the ranch in Missouri. How about a show of survivors of polygamy? How about a show about people's journeys out of polygamy? How about we applaud and cheer on the people that have been abused and neglected and had their lives stolen from them through these cults? Why don't you look at that? There's a lot of survivors I know personally that would probably be willing to share their stories. Why don't you talk to them instead of more men that are abusing women and children? Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.